Ang Pilipinas, isang kapuluan sa Timog Silangang Asya na mayroong kultura at kasaysayan na di tulad ng iba. Kilala sa kanyang katangi-tanging likas na yaman at mga tanawin na dalisay ang kagandahan. Mula sa kanyang mga bundok, ilog, dagat at lalo na ang kanyang mga mamamayan ng bayang Sinilangan. Subalit ang kanyang nakaraan ay hanggang ngayon di pa rin tiyak na nalalaman. Kasaysayang idinikta bate sa paniniwala at kagustuhan ng sino mang namahala. Mula sa 3 siglong pamamahala sa ating bansa ng Espanya, ilang dekadang pananatili ng Amerika, at kahit na ang pananakop ng mga Hapon noong ikalawang digmaang pandaigdig. Ano kaya ang ating kasalukuyan kung hindi tayo naging isang kolonya? Ano kung sa simula pa lamang ay isa na tayong bansa na matagal nang malaya? Ayo, what is going on, you guys? Hanjo here, and welcome back to another episode of Magayon. In this episode, we're going to be doing the city tour, the part 2 of the city tour. So if you guys want to check out part 1 where I recap the previous episodes of the series, like phase 1, because in this episode, we're going to be doing phase 2, which is what you're seeing on screen right now. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of everything, I recommend you watch the first episode and the next episodes, because I plan to split the episode of the city tour in various parts, like part 1, 2, 3, and so on, because there's just so many details in each build. Before I get into the small details, stories type of thing, I want to first go out further away. Okay, this is phase 2. Phase 2 is essentially the capital. So if you're new to the series or you're not familiar with what the lore or the goal for the series is, Magayon is a series loosely based on various Southeast Asian cities, but mainly tackling a Philippines that was never colonized. We're taking inspiration from Manila, Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, anywhere in Asia, like giving me Southeast Asian tropical vibes. And the pinpoint of phase 2 was the Philippines never colonized, because I have studied history, restudied history actually, because a lot of history that was taught to us in school weren't 100% factual. They made they made us seem like small people, like, you know, they made America seem like they were here to do the good job, but we could actually do it on our own. Like, this were like our saving things, and we were just, you know, aimlessly wandering about. But yeah, that tangent right there. Anyways, let's get back. If you want to get into more detail, because I explained in when I built this walled city, which is still not complete, the entire lore, the entire history, the battle that happened between the Spaniards and the ancient Filipinos here. I made a whole history about that. If you want to check the history, the links are down below. But essentially, the Spanish weren't able to colonize because this city right here teamed up the entire, like, cities all across this place to fight against the Spanish here, and then they died, and then they won, and then they built the city to commemorate that. So, and then the city got overpopulated, and they needed to expand during the 1910s, so they hired Daniel Burnham, which is kind of weird because it's an American, and, you know, I think they have close ties with America. Since Spanish never came, America never, you know, took the opportunity to claim the Philippines, because this place wasn't a part of Spain, so they didn't have the excuse to #liberate, quote unquote, the Spanish colony. So yeah, they have close relations with the United States, but, you know, it is what it is. This is inspired by Daniel Burnham's plan for Manila, which is right here. Yes, because this plan for Manila during the 1910s was brought upon by Daniel Burnham because I think the city wanted to, remodel its thing, but sadly it wasn't followed. As many plans for the city, the capital city of the Philippines, were not followed in the 1960s for Quezon City, the future capital city, because it was moved. But in this reality, we did it. It's an alternate reality, basically, where some things that didn't happen in the past are actually happening now. So as you can see here, the influence of the Daniel Burnham's plan in the further expansion of the city. You can see a lot of radiating roads from the center. This is down the new center, because the old center used to be this one. As you can see, that radiated there, but you can't see any of the old roads anymore because the new plan took care of that. The Capitol building, as you can see, radiating roads from the center, and then a linear park. This is the first part we're going to be talking about today. The linear park. Which angle should we choose? I think this one. This is the linear park. It takes inspiration from the National Washington DC. Sorry for the lag, by the way. Oh, the texture is actually quite low. Takes inspiration from Washington DC, like the Capitol building, the National Mall, the Pool of Reflection, Washington Monument, and parks and all that kind of stuff. But it's actually Rizal Park in the Philippines, just retrofitted to become the capital of Magayon. If you're familiar with this road right here, fellow Filipinos, this is Rojas Boulevard, or as it was called, Dewey Boulevard, to commemorate General Dewey, I guess, because he's the one who quote unquote, liberated the Philippines by staging a fake war over these waters between Spanish, and they did not even inform the Filipino people, the outside of this wall. If you want to watch history, I have links down below, but basically the United States and Spain staged a fake war inside of Intramuros, or maybe here in the water, because the Spanish didn't want to say defeat to the Filipinos. They'd rather say defeat to white people, which is racist. So yeah, history. Anyways, let's get back to the video. I get distracted easily. I'm on a rant about America, how they. Anyways, let's get back to the video. If you watch Goyo, I remember when people were watching Goyo that they got so furious at America after learning about the atrocities they made to the country. But the present, we're good, but we still have to acknowledge the past, because acknowledgement is the road to justice. It's the road to justice, but if there is no justice, there is no peace. Now, let's get back to the linear path. I explained you the lore and everything. Now I'm going to go do the urban planning architecture thing, because that's what it's supposed to be. Oh, baby, turn up the... Anyways, linear park, Pool of Reflection, monument to commemorate the new capital. This is a beacon of hope to the people. This huge obelisk right here is supposed to be the tallest structure in the city. Hence, that's why this building right here can't go any taller. This is the building where the developers or the company responsible for the development of this place lives in, and the views in this city are just immaculate. Look at that. Imagine just walking through here. It's giving me very much New York, Chicago kind of vibes, because this place was built during the 1910s, 20s, 30s. Yeah, pre-World War II. And this is the Capitol building right here. And oh my gosh, I haven't seen this building in literally quite a long time, and I'm just amazed by how beautiful and magnificent it is. You can see here we have the neoclassicist design inspiration mixed with Southeast Asian. Basically, I used the National Diet building of Japan and some Thai schools and as roofs, because this building was just plain flat, and then this triangle right here. And I didn't want to put a dome. I was thinking on whether putting a dome here, but a dome didn't make much sense, because we have the volcano. Oh my god, where's the volcano? Ayan, over there. We have the perfect cone volcano, and I want the architecture of the Capitol building to reflect its place, its location, what it symbolizes, what it stands for. It stands for Magayon. The design of it, it's like the horizontality and the verticality at the center. It makes it look like it's, shouldering. It's like sitting on top of something. I don't know. It has 3 sides to represent. 3 is a very important number in Magayon, the entire lore. A triangle has 3 sides, so that's that. The government's branches is 3. The 3 founding fathers of the modern city. The 3 is very symbolic. The divine trinity. Oh my god, Christianism entered the chat. So yeah, that's the Capitol building. We have amazing views of the volcano, and the views here are protected. No tall buildings must obstruct this view you're seeing right here, and no view must obstruct the view of the volcano from here as well. And also, the people driving in front of the Capitol building must slow down. If you can see that, you're gonna see some people driving, and they are gonna make a slow down if they reach the monument and the Capitol building. You have to slow down. You have to go like 20 kilometers per hour here at this segment of the road to pay respects to, patriotism. He's quick, and then he slows down. Yes, a lot of lane markings here, very proud of that. A lot of shaded trees as well. Now I didn't do like super detailed, I just put lint, but it's actually very highly detailed, but I didn't plan this out that much. Basically, these are just linear paths going across the park, and it's like very aesthetic. It's very calming to stay here. As you can see, that's the monument of the helping hand, because we help each other. I don't know, some things here have a lot of symbolism, while some things are just placed down randomly. Let's go into first person here at the park, the Capitol building. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh, it's giving me University of the Philippines kind of vibes. If you're Filipino, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The acacia trees beside the road. Why are you walking here? There's a pathway over here. Anyways, so yeah, the Capitol. Oh, sorry for the frame rate. This part of the city, that is Lundian over there at the far end. That's the green city, because there are a lot of trees there, and that's part of the redevelopment program. This is a library, a cute little library, because the city is scaled way down. We have to minimize the other stuff. Yeah, basically this is the park right here. To the left of the park, you'd see, oh my gosh, I haven't been here in such a long time, and I am just in awe of this city. Like, look at that view. Look at that view of the Pearl, Manila Pearl, Bay of the Pearl, Pearl of Orient. It's a land reclamation. We're gonna be doing that on that's phase 5 or 4. I just placed that down to have a nice skyline, because the city does not have a skyline. That's the skyline of the city so far. And this is the walled city. If you look here, I think, no, we can't see the Capitol. This is supposed to be aligned with the road. This pathway, you can cross directly into there. But I think, okay, this is the one that goes directly into the temple. Okay, I'm gonna align it properly. Zoom in. Okay. Oh, why do we have the flag of Spain in front of the non-Spanish city? The disrespect. The disrespect. Oh, how the turntables. Anyways, that is the walled city. Oh my gosh, this view. This view. If you guys want a sole first-person tour of the city, I'm here to do it for you. The orange roofs, the sloping roofs, and then the temple at the end, just rising to the top, like beaming, like pew pew pew, sending signals to the gods. Oh, whatever. But that's later on. Now we're focused here on the Capitol building, the park. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, patriotism is, Russian national anthem plays. If you want to watch a video I made a video like Matic playing the Panem's national anthem from the Hunger Games, because it kind of suits the city's story. You have another park on the right side. This is where people can chillax, do whatever, sit down, drink some coffee. Here's a little garden or like bushes here on the side. That is the obelisk, tallest freestanding structure freestanding, the tallest structure in the capital city, because we have buildings outside the capital city, like on the first. This is not just a single city, it's various cities in one. Now let's go here. I think we should go first to the Capitol building. Mozart here chilling, because why not? Let's just imagine that it's a significant figure. And right here is also a protected vista. Like, as you can see the framing, how the trees frame that. It's like pointing towards the center, and it's like when you look at it, it's like, what's that in the center? It's like, yeah, framing architecture. Yeah, here's a modern monument, a monument for modernism. And the trees, the shady trees. Ooh, the shade, girl, the shade. Oh my god, the shade, basically to keep the people warm, because it's super hot in the Philippines, and you wouldn't want to be. Oh my gosh, I'm so short. Or are they just tall? They're tall. They're Caucasian, so they're tall. Why are Caucasians in the city? Cities Skylines. What are you doing? Anyways, let's speed run through this beautiful road. You can't cross here, so you have to do a turn. You have to do a left. You can't actually cross into the capital. It's restricted. Oh, look at the temple peeping over there. Amazing. Let's get back to the capital. Let's continue on our walk. You can only enter the capital if you have like special car access or whatever. I'm gonna change frame rate here. Is super shitty. Let's go here. It's against the light, but who cares? Once again, I am telling you, I'm gonna put a park here or something. Ice cream chillin', ice cream chillin'. Look at that. Do you not see that? Do you not see that? And also, do you not see this? Do you not see this? We have an avenue or a giant boulevard just radiating, completely just going like here. We have to move like further away. It's just continuously going for as far as it can go. Like, it's just a straight road, not giving a care about topography or whatever it may reach. It just goes straight. Okay, I have to fix. Okay, let's go. It just goes straight through, and then it goes pew pew. It goes everywhere. It goes to the outskirts of the city. I think it actually even goes like into the mountain. Is a volcano here already? This road right here. Imagine driving here. Okay, it ends here by the river. Oh, this is the further road. The road going further out into the city, and that is the capital. The city skyline is still mainly centered on the is that the the eastern end of the city. Kanluran is east, so yeah, the eastern end of the city is the one that is more developed right now, but we're gonna have skyscrapers soon at the side as well. Now let's just do a quick fly back into the capital. I get easily distracted sometimes, so let's get back to the Capitol building. There is a park here. A visitor center. You can go under here. There's like a park here, a museum under it. Look at that. It's just gorgeous. I'm speechless. I don't know what else to say. I literally don't know what else to say. Oh, by the way, I just plopped these buildings on top of each other, and the amazing thing is the colors of them can be changed. So I chose red because the walled city has like also kind of a red theme, and red is like giving me scary vibes, like, you know, the Japan red, you know, but now they're like kind of chill, except I think Russia maybe chill, I don't know. You know, red is kind of scary. China as well is red. There's something about red, you know, there's something you can't trust about them, but they're good. Anyways, I think I explained the capital very well. There's a one-way road going around it, offices on the side. Now let's get into the laggiest part of phase 2, which is Lundian. This entire block right here, Lundian, the green city. Now, at first glance, green? What do you mean green? The buildings are white or cream. We have green roofs. Oh my gosh, why? There are buildings that despawned. Anyways, we'll leave him at that. We have this park right here, greenery. These are offices. These have been revamped, more commercial buildings, parking lots. There's this empty lot here, which I think will be like a university or an office or another government building. The city is still quite incomplete, but you know, it has completed the vibe check. Here we have a waterfront redevelopment program. As you can see, the older buildings, and these are like quite newer ones. These are from 2010s, 2020s, 2030s. So you can see it's becoming even greener when you reach here, and we have this architectural masterpiece that is the mountain by Bjarke Ingels. It's at an angle where all buildings, when it's like very sunny, it doesn't get that much sunlight, and if it's not, they get a lot of sunlight, you know, to lessen the heat going into the building. It's like very nice. I explained it more in the video. And we have this thing, it has commercial spaces at the bottom. I think we have a McDonald's here. Is this a McDonald's? Oh, it's a medical or a bookstore. Wow, oh my gosh, they're biking on the roof thingy. Yeah, we have this very important intersection that I haven't detailed yet. We have this sports facility, the old sports facility, like the old sports house, or later on. Basically, this is where the first Olympics in the city back in the 1930s or 40s, I guess, were held. And this is what they use. This is, as you can see by the architecture, it's giving me very much modern 1930s. Actually, I think it's the 50s kind of vibes. And there's a mall here because why not? Okay. Commercial residential spaces, the city's the first residential buildings I built in the city. And you'd be wondering, like, why do you have like small residential here when it's like next to like skyscrapers and stuff? Well, the thinking behind this is that these homes have been here way before these became skyscrapers, so they just stayed here because this is like, they have rights or whatever. And these are newer ones because you have to protect the view of the Capitol building. I'm going to be showing you the protected view, by the way. Let's go here, I guess. We have this corner lot here. Something significant will be placed here. But essentially, standing here at this crossing, you will see that the Capitol building itself is indeed, the view is indeed protected. You can see the valley that forms the triangulation, the lines perspective. It's tricking your eyes to focus on this building right here because the lines are pointing towards the Capitol. Capitol building has this triangular form, which makes it unique from the form that is happening here. I need to change. Okay, there you go. Theory behind this is that the Capitol must be in focus at this plot of land. You see here, the buildings make this downward valley, and even the buildings behind it make it as well, so that the Capitol building is pointing upwards and it is in focus. No matter what you do, I'm about to go to song mode there. No matter where you look at it, the building will be the main one here at this part. But if you move a little bit slightly to the left, I think you'd pay more attention to this one because this one is much brighter, but I'm thinking of fixing that up later on. But yeah, that's one of the city's protected vistas. Another one is oh my gosh, the obelisk. The obelisk is also a protected building. It must be like the main thing you're seeing while walking along the Baywalk. Yeah. Did I say that this Baywalk is also water protection? So you can see it's elevating the land. The bike path acts as a seawall, protecting the city from high tides, storm surge, and waves all over, and there's a park beside it on the lower level. So you can see people, a lot of people are walking towards the capital. I have detailed this part across this interchange right here, so you can see there are shops, there are parks. It's a very loud because there's a lot of detail. There's a basketball court even, and this thing right here, as you can see, walking here, vibes everywhere in the city. It's just the vibes all around. A place to gather, a place to chillax, people biking, amazing. And the city cycling, like the race for the Olympics, also happen here. We have that almost like amphitheater thing, and we have this park on top of a building. As you can see, there's a building there, and the building is connected with the road and with the city, and it's connected to the water as well, connected to the bike path, connected to the street system, connected to the, there's a fire. Oh my god, so many things happening in one frame. There's so many things. This angle right here, this just makes me feel like the city is complete. Like, okay, Magayon is complete, it's done, and there's a fire because why not? This avenue is just so aesthetic. Look at that. A lot of people here. When I built this, in the episode that I built this, nobody was even here. Only like 30 people, I guess, or 100. But now there's like 30 people. I think now there's like hundreds of people here because I grew the population. In this park, we have amenities like Starbo. Of course, you can forget Starbo, as you've seen in the last episode. We have parks, playground for the children. Where are my children? We have another cafe because people here can't seem to stop drinking coffee. Another cafe in McDonald's. A fountain. This fountain is everywhere in the city because that's the only fountain asset I'm using. And we have this, so you can like put your feet to the water. You go down, baby. Oh, it's low tide, so you can't dip your feet in the water. There should not be covering here. There is a covering here, but you can make your legs go through the hole. So yeah, this is also a museum type of thing. As you can see, the building goes with the water and stuff, and the waves. This is the city's actual height. This majority of Magayon is like the capital, and waves. And since climate change, rising sea levels, he built this to protect it. So this acts like non-threatening, like it's not disturbing the landscape. It blends into the surrounding instead of like a literal wall covering it. The bike path continues on the entire waterfront, and this is a hill. And this bike path, you'd see like, oh, it ends here. I think the bike path deploys like hatches or something, and it blocks this entire place. This is a zoo, by the way, so therefore the zoo is on fire because in Manila there is an aquarium there. Manila Ocean Park. Oh, a pier is on fire. We have this building here. I think that's like another zoo. I'm gonna name this the National Museum of Anthropology, or National Museum of Animals. Yes, natural history or whatever. Flamingos. What's up? Oh my god, so aesthetic. So they be chilling. How's life in Magayon? It's so Magayon, isn't it? People just walking by. Noise, bird facilities, and this is like, you can go here. This is the ocean park. You go there and there's like water. A lot of parking, cause why not? A lot of people are driving. I think I explained capital expansion and stuff. Now let's go into the walled city. Sorry for the frame rate, by the way. We have a lot of things to tackle here. Traffic is quite heavy right now. Traffic is consistent. There's traffic flowing from the expressway into the highway, into the avenues. There's traffic flowing through the boulevard. A lot of traffic in the city. It's nice, it's nice. Okay, let's get here to where it all began. I'm going to be centering the camera at the center of the temple. During the 1500s, pre-1500s, before the Spanish arrived, this city did not exist. This entire place, there were small towns scattered along the shores, in the mountain, everywhere, and one city right here. And the Spanish came along and they were like making sakop, they were invading and taking conquest the cities all around. And then this tiny little city or town right here was like, hold up. I think this happened once or twice before. They know the tactic of the Spanish, and in real history they actually kind of knew, but the people living in Intramuros, they accepted the Spanish's entry. But in this alternate history, they didn't. They fought back. Honey, they fought back. The Spanish were like small and they were outnumbered, and they fought back. Spanish came back, fire. They lost again. They fought back. The Spanish came again for reinforcements because they took a lot of this place, and they were like, they're trying to come back to us. We have to prepare. So they talked to like the other cities around, and they were like, guys, Avengers, assemble! And they united all under the rule of this thing to fight the Spanish that came. The Armada was about to come when suddenly a storm arrived, and it was like all the ships sunk, and the remaining teams of battle were like, and the battles continued on, and the Spanish didn't do anything more. They weren't able to take this land, the wall, this plot of land right here, and all the other places around the city. So this was a safe haven for the natives, and they rejoiced. And to commemorate their success in defeating the Spanish, they built this walled city and this temple right here. Now you might be thinking, why is it a Thai temple when you're like in the Philippines? Aren't they like Malay or something? Are they not like Hindu? Are they Buddhist? What is their religion? So since asset limitations, we don't have that many assets for Southeast Asia. In Europe, there are tons of European assets everywhere. The religion here, they don't actually have a religion. It's mostly paganism. Imagine Greek gods, but Filipino version. There is a god for the sun, there's a god for the mountains, a god for the sky, a god of water, a god of war. And if you guys want to check a much more detailed explanation on the Philippine folklore and mythology, you just have to look it up on YouTube. It's amazing to see. And they dedicated this to the god of all gods, the Zeus of the Philippine mythology, which is Bathala, and each like major god that they worship is for each of those towers pointing up. And also, if you're not familiar, this is inspired by Angkor Wat. The layout of it all, the square, the expanding main roads or main pathways. This road even goes straight through Silangan, but it makes an edge because, Burnham's plan, Chinatown is here. The view here is quite amazing. Excuse the frame rate, I just need to fix this up. Look at this view. There are so much. I might sound redundant, but I just have to say it. There are so many beautiful views in the city. It's so scenic. It's so Instagrammable. Like, no joke. If you were to travel here, if this was a real place, this would rival Paris. Paris would not compare to this city. There's so many things, and it takes inspiration from Paris, basically, with avenues, radiating roads, roundabouts, monuments. Daniel Burnham, basically. This is where they worship. This is the spiritual center, the center of their thing. The government center for this, I think, is going to be these two sides. As you can see, it's separated by this inner wall that separates the higher tiered people, which are the Datu Ulacans, Maginoos, I think the Maharlikas, like the noble people who are free, the people who own land, like they live here, and the slaves live outside. Yes, they live outside. Farmers also live outside, and this is where education happens. I think this is a school, that's a hospital, residences. I still haven't finished. As you can see, it's very empty. I'm still gonna be placing more buildings here. These are Indonesian assets by Fayed, which just blend. These are just perfect. As you can see, it's small, so it makes the city look big, even though it's super tiny. And that's the thing with the series, the city. We have to make things look bigger than they actually are. We just have to play with perspectives, dibs, and all of those stuff. This is a walled city. I think I explained it quite well. For a quick recap of the walled city, there's this main avenue going here, and later on, after the Burnham's plan, they added an avenue here so that it would be easier to access, connecting it here. There's just a roundabout dedicated to the descendant of the ruling family. Magayon, the Magayon's government system is like what they call this, United Kingdom. It's like a monarchy with, there's like a prime minister and a king, but the royal family is powerless. They're just there for, like, you know, aesthetics. But the one who actually has a lot of power is this one, basically similar to the United Kingdom. But the third in line, or the third from the, like, Lakandura, the first, the second, the third, he is the one who oversaw the expansion of the capital with Daniel Burnham. Yeah, and they commemorated him with this statue in the middle of this beautiful Dutch-styled roundabout. Now, a lot of you have commented that I should have elevated or sunk in this bike path because it's not safe, but the Cities Skylines, and I'm like, there's not a lot of people driving here, and I just didn't want to sink it down because people won't see it, and it would be a little bit too difficult for me. Now, the city has an extensive bike network, and if you're like wondering, like, what is that asset? Like, is that even Lakandura the third? No, this is Jose Rizal. He is the Philippine national hero. He awakened nationalism into the hearts of Filipinos when the Spanish were, like, when people were not even allowed to speak. He didn't fight with a sword, he fought with a pen. He wrote a book which is low-key showing the people oppression, or like, it's basically like amazing. If you want to learn more about Jose Rizal, I'm not a historian, I just know it from school and from what I saw, what I see, what I hear. You don't want to get your sources of history for me because I am making my own alternate timeline here. It's giving me very much low-key WandaVision, Marvel universe kind of vibe. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, can't wait to see. Okay, this avenue right here, this goes straight through. This is where they parade like military stuff, you know. They start from here to there, I guess, in front of the monument. They parade across this. I think they start from the walled city. No, they start from here. There's gonna be the king's palace here, so that they oversee the parade. The king can like stand here and they can wave to the people, and the prime minister can also stand there and wave to the people. I think he's standing here. There's like a temporary thing here, but they walk through this boulevard. Bastille Day in France, I think. In China, the National Parade or something. In North Korea, though, the North Korea one is the most famous parade they have, like military parade. They have like synchronized people, and there's like people doing their pom-poms and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, the walled city, parks outside. These are like defense things to defend themselves from the outside world. This is like where they look out. The city's defense ministers like administer that part, and I think they live here. Okay, I think I've explained the capital city, I mean phase 2.2 or phase 2.5 of the series, which is this one, quite well. And this is the walled city, old city. Okay, I'm gonna call this city version 1.0, Magayon capital 1.0. This is like the beta version, and then they expanded to this part, and then expanded further. But wait, why is this one not part of Magayon's expansion? This part of the city, of the greater Magayon area, is actually not is not under the jurisdiction of the rule of this land. It ends here at the river. Only everything else west of the river is under their control, and they didn't have control of this land later on in the future when they connected up the city. This is actually a separate nation, I guess, city-state. They granted this place inside a walled city. Only purebloods are allowed. Purebloods, Harry Potter. Only full-blooded, like, local people are allowed. It's giving me very much Forbidden City in China. Only the royal people or the people who live inside the city are allowed to go inside the city. Hence the name Forbidden City. So foreign nationals can't enter the walled city. Only I don't know the name of these people. I'm just gonna call them Filipinos right now. Only Filipinos can enter the walled city. But the city didn't want to close off their economy because they have tons of farmlands. They have a lot of resources, so they had to trade. They had a port here. They are trading from here, but there were other people interested in the trading stuff. If you've learned history, the Europeans were like, we need your spices, we need your like trade, we need your like stuff, natural resources. And this they were willing to sell, but they were like, we can't do inside. I give you this land in front of me. This entire eastern side is free for other people to stay in. Before the city like decided that this were only for foreign settlements, there was actually a foreign settlement here already in place, and that was Chinatown. Chinatown was here, the oldest Chinatown in the world. It's also parallel to the Philippines, Binondo, which is also the oldest Chinatown in the world, but I haven't built it yet. So if you guys want me to build Chinatown, comment down below. And yeah, Chinatown was one of the oldest partners, the trading partner, the largest trading partner of Lakandura. That's the name of the city, by the way, the walled city, Lakandura. And they also wanted to partner with Europeans, and the Europeans settled here on the southern side of the western side. Northern. Oh no, Kanluran is east, right? Silangan is west. Oh, okay. Silangan is west. This is Silangan, so this is west. Guys, I am so confused. This is the western edge of the city. So you can see, Lakandura is at this grid pattern right here. So you can see at that angle. But the foreigners follow this angle of the grid. They changed it to fit their needs. This avenue, one of the most important avenues in the city. This is Magdala Avenue. This connected their international ports through the streets of the foreign settlement, going straight into further Magayon, further into Magayon. This inner section right here, also one of the most important intersections in the history of Magayon. This is where the radiating road from the walled city exits towards the place. But yeah, a lot of important things. This is like, don't mind that I have to fix a lot of things, but this road avenue right here, I'm just gonna show you the view along this avenue. Chinatown is not yet built, so imagine Chinese buildings here, like classic Chinatown buildings, before you enter like the New York, Chicago vibes of the city. You're actually seeing a little bit of like Japanese influence here because asset limitations. Basically, this avenue right here goes straight through the foreign settlement. As you can see, it's giving me Chicago vibes, but give it a twist. As you can see, with the patterns of the railings, the lampposts, the water lilies on the side, the types of road, the narrowness of it all. It's giving me a hybrid vibe. It also has one of the most amazing views of the capital, of the walled city, because this was built alongside the growth of the walled city way before the expansion of Magayon as a capital, the unified Magayon, because this city and this place were not unified, and when they got unified, they decided to move the capital here and then further connect it here, and the city was like expanding further and then further. And this is Magayon. And there's like another country here, but you know, that is much more in the future. Okay, frame rate crappy, but we'll make do. Look at that. Just why don't you just bask in the beauty of the architecture? And even the monument is peeking through there, and the National Bank. It's just gorgeous. And the trees giving you shade. This avenue right here is directly aligned with the monument. There's a lot of things that are aligning here in the city. When you walk here, this one is aligned with this tower right here. This building is not really aligned with anything. I think it's aligned with this one, the center of the canal. And the city has a lot of canals, by the way. Just imagine that there used to be a lot of small boats going through here, and that's why it's actually there's a much larger ferry there. But trade used to go into here, and there are like a lot of like businesses here trading with them, and then they go out into larger river, and they go internationally. But they just changed when roads were like cars were invented. They just moved here to this port right here, and in the future, in the present, they moved here. A huge interchange here, an elevated highway here connecting to the massive port of Magayon. But that is for the next episode. I have been speaking for more than an hour, I guess, but you're only watching, I guess, less than 30 minutes of the video. I'm going to go into more detail with the other side of the river, why we have this road here, what this station is, the lore behind it, and everything else. So if you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a big thumbs up, comment down below what you want to see next, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. But if you guys want to show even more support to the channel while getting exclusive access to stuff, consider becoming a patron on patreon.com/Kalejandro and get early access to my videos as soon as I upload them, exclusive content, and the community Discord server. And yeah, this is Kalejandro signing off. Bye!